The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program. These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human.
Y'all, UFOs have become a main topic of discussion again in the advent of the Three-Eye Atlas entering our solar system. We've been actually talking more about UFO probes than ever before, with actual scientists and physicists talking about these things as if they're real possibilities. Now, that's not to say that Three-Eye Atlas is alien, we just know that it's weird for now. But as you guys know, I've always had this alien probe theory and this surveillance theory, if you guys remember from the last video. So today we're going to check out some of the best clear UFO captures of UFO spheres, which I think are the most likely object to be these drone objects or probe objects that are checking us out. So today we're going to check out some of the best UFO spheres captured on camera, as well as the story of the Pentagon being baffled by 8,000 UFO orb spheres. The Pentagon themselves baffled 8,000, not 8,000 UFO spheres? And we'll take a look back at the original instance with the Buga Sphere. Though we may not all be convinced, I think it is important with all the similar sightings that we do take a look and do some research. Enjoy! UFOs are popping up everywhere, and they come in many different shapes and sizes, from saucers to simple orbs of light. But there has been an uptick in a certain type of UFO lately, one that's being seen everywhere, has even been seen following planes in the sky. And that is the spherical and oftentimes metallic UFOs. Sometimes they're even transparent and you can see them almost phase in and out of reality. And sometimes they're cubes within a sphere. But today what we're going to do is we're going to have a little, we could say mini marathon of some of the best sphere UFOs out there. Now this comes from an incredible thread created by Think Tank on Twitter. The thread and his profile will be linked in the description below if you want to check it out. First, we have one of the strange spheres showing up in Australia in February of 2024. And as Think Tank says, they are showing up more frequently now. Take a look at this. That was a bit of a strange clip. It definitely looked like it was rotating, and at one point it looked like it did like a weird, I don't know, weird like twisty move, and then it like vanished a little bit, and then it came back. That's a strange video. Next, we have the spherical UFO that was captured in South Downs Park in the UK. And this UFO we've actually seen recently on the channel. The person captured a few of them with their iPhone, and then he got a professional camera and captured one of the best UFO shots out there. And he does give you a side-by-side comparison. With the professional camera, you can actually see that this spherical object has no means of propulsion, and it's completely smooth with no seams whatsoever. And eerily, it's perfectly spherical. I mean, perfect. It's like a perfect ball. Check this out. I've said this before. What I love most about that video is that he actually took the video with an iPhone and with his camera and then compared them side by side. So we can not just get a good view of the UFO, but get a better understanding of what it's like when you're capturing these objects with a phone camera. Oftentimes people are like, we have these great phone cameras, like, why aren't you capturing better images? Our cameras are great, but only for so far because the lenses are so tiny. Where a professional camera has a big lens and a bigger aperture, it can capture more light, it can capture more details. There's a lot that goes into it, and cameras are more expensive, which is why camera captures aren't seen as often. The next sphere is very interesting, and it comes from El Mirage Airfield in California. What's interesting about this UFO sphere is that someone actually took the measurement of the cactus and the ground to try to get a better understanding of how big it was, and this was apparently a 10-foot sphere hovering in the air. Take a look and let me know in the comments what you think about this.
Fucking thing just floating around out here, man. That's crazy. Adelanto.
I enjoyed that clip, but I just like more that someone took the time and was smart enough to do those measurements for us. That's a pretty big sphere, and it's just hovering there. Like, what do you think that's do? What do you think that's for? You think it's like a surveillance of some sort? Next, we have a metallic sphere spotted in Wiltshire, England. Let me know in the comments how you say that. Check it out. It's an interesting video, and you could tell they were having trouble keeping it in focus. But when they did, you could see that it was metallic, just the way that the light was shining off of it. Again, it just makes me question what these things could be doing. And it's strange enough when they're just sitting still in the sky, but more questions get raised when they start flying around airplanes, possibly surveilling them and causing hazardous flight conditions. It's really weird. Just take a look at this clip from December 10th of 2023 of the spherical UFO that was captured at LAX. It's so strange how it flies right by the airplane, and again we have no answers. Check it out. Bro, that orb practically kissed the plane. It went right under the wing. What if it hit the engine or something? What is that? This is one of the many reasons I get upset that we don't get answers, because you're putting everyone's lives in danger. We have no control over the skies. We need to know as much about what's going on as possible. And they're not just seen near planes. Like, what about the UFOs that are always found near volcanoes? What are they doing? My hope is that they are preventing them from erupting, but we don't know that. They could be changing their composition. They could be doing something that could cause drastic side effects in the future. Again, we need to figure this out. Just take a look at this UFO from Popocatépetl volcano. I hope I said that right. But it's very strange. It's just hovering, flying across over a volcano. What are you doing there? What are they trying to do? Maybe they're gathering energy. I just hope it's nothing nefarious. Take a look.
Al día siguiente, 29 de junio, se presentó este objeto dirigiéndose de la zona del volcán Popocatépetl hacia la zona norte del parque Iztapopo, pasando por enfrente del volcán Iztaccíhuatl. Narnia Hall nos informó que algo había ocurrido en esta zona al ver la transmisión de nuestras cámaras y se dio cuenta de que cruzó en esos momentos este misterioso objeto. Al realizar un acercamiento lo podemos ver con toda claridad. Observe. Se trata de una esfera y parece que va girando. En nuestra investigación hemos determinado que los avistamientos se presentan en prácticamente cualquier punto de la zona volcánica, pero con mayor incidencia en el volcán Popocatépetl, debido a que está en constante actividad. Pero como podemos ver en las imágenes, estos objetos pueden presentarse en cualquier momento y en diferentes formas y lugares. Ahora fue esta esfera moviéndose de forma horizontal sobre la zona del parque Iztapopo a plena luz del día. Información para Tercer Milenio Noticias.
And it's not just spheres. Sometimes there's rods and cylindrical shaped UFO coming out of volcanoes, which make even less sense. Next, we have a UFO sphere that appeared in Milwaukee that looks eerily like a sphere from San Diego. The video from Milwaukee will be on the left and the San Diego comparison on the right. Take a look and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do see some similarities there, but I feel that the UFO in Milwaukee is a bit more elongated as opposed to that more round shape that was taken by the San Diego UFO. Still weird as hell. And for those who don't know what that San Diego UFO video is or have never seen the original, here's that for you. I don't know. I find that one to be one of the strangest sphere UFOs because it looks like it has antennas and like maybe little window slots, portholes, maybe for cameras. I do think it's weird. And I do think, well, maybe not anomalous, just weird. My thing is that because it has antennas and those portholes and obviously seems to have all those things, it doesn't seem off-world to me, if you will. I feel like that could be like some form of spy balloon or a foreign adversary trying to gather information. I do tend to lean towards the actual off-planet vehicles to be those seamless ones, which is one of the reasons they're so anomalous, because they have no seams, so we don't know how they work. That looks like we could probably pop it open and figure it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's just how I'm feeling about it. Now, the next one is a confirmed anomalous UFO. It is the spherical UFO that was released by the US Department of Defense. And I love this one because it's super credible and it's coming from the source that we're all asking this information from. So check it out and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
You'll see it come through the top of the screen. There it goes. And then the camera will slew to follow it. You'll see it pop in and out of the field of view there. This is essentially all of the data we have associated with this event from some years ago. It is going to be virtually impossible to fully identify that just based off of that video. Now, what we can do and what we are doing is keeping that as part of that group of 52% to see what are the similarities, what are the trends across all of these, do we see these in a particular distribution, do they all behave the same or not? As we get more data, we will be able to go back and look at these in a fuller context.
Again, in my opinion, one of the best military actually doing their due diligence, people reporting on it, people trying to research it. I think that is a great capture, and it's one of the things that could lead us towards disclosure if we keep heading in the right direction. The Pentagon has been baffled by 8,000 mysterious UFO orbs hovering over US military bases. And this is a very, very eerie report that goes into these sphere-like UFOs hovering over US military. And why I say it's so weird and strange is because we've been talking about these spherical UFOs and if they're conducting some form of surveillance, whether you believe it or not, we then bring up the Buga Sphere and those types of spheres that are showing up everywhere. And there seems to be more to this than meets the eye. So let's jump into this article by the Daily Mail. An invasion of small metallic orbs has been spotted hovering over the US in recent years, leaving the Pentagon scrambling to identify these mysterious UFOs. And it's crazy because this is like what these UFOs we've been seeing are like, these strange small metallic spheres, small enough that when they land, like people are holding them in their hand when they land. Okay, I get it, guys, but to put all this together, if that is the case, they are small enough to be held in our hands, so this would also make sense for that. A new report from the crowdsourced platform Enigma, which allows people to report sightings of unidentified flying objects, reveals more than 8,000 sightings across the US between December 2022 and June of 2025. Among these, 422 reports specifically describe metallic orbs, with the majority observed between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. near military installations in New York, California, and Arizona. very strategic places, especially New York and California. I mean, Arizona, we also, well, once we start getting into the desert and stuff, I find this to be very fascinating. And again, let's take out the Buga Sphere and all that crap. Remember, we had the UFO sighting where the person recorded the metallic sphere with their iPhone and it was blurry, and they went and got their professional camera to record the sphere, and we saw it with clarity. So we got to see a really good image of this thing, and it was a metallic orb. It didn't seem to have any engravings or anything. I will say that it seemed very smooth and didn't seem to have any means of propulsion. Eyewitnesses, including civilians, pilots, and military personnel, reported seeing the spheres hover silently before moving at extreme speeds, leaving no trace of their departure, already giving some of the 5 observables. We have that instantaneous acceleration, and we have no means of propulsion visible. Some of the sightings, and it came to a complete stop, sorry. Some of the sightings have been captured on video or radar, though many remain unexplained. I was walking into work when I looked up and I saw 2 metallic, liquid-like objects hovering for about 2 minutes, said one of the witnesses over Brooklyn Fort Hamilton in June 2024. I sat back and had a very aha moment because they said metallic liquid looking like objects. And I remember the video I recently covered where I talked about the living metal UFO, which I turned into a short. That would also kind of fit the description because we saw it have like a liquid. It looked like it was, well, we call it the living metal, but it looked like it was moving, and it looked like if you drop something in water and it rippled, that's what the metal looked like. So that also, I'm not saying that it it proves that those sightings that I posted are, I'm just saying it adds credence to these sightings, and even if those aren't the ones or exact, something very strange and very similar is happening in our skies. Another in California described seeing a metallic orb above Los Angeles shortly after a squadron of planes flew by. The Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, or AARO, has been charged with investigating claims of UFOs and has dismissed many as natural phenomenon like flocks of birds, conventional aircraft, drones, balloons, or other explainable objects, swamp gas. However, I will say, I don't know if it's going to continue like this, there are some they haven't explained, even though I do feel like they're full of crap. We already know the military drone footage from the Middle East in 2022, metal sphere flying through, metallic sphere even then, before all of this. I do feel like, again, maybe the Bugosphere could be like some publicity stunt, but these spheres, they're real. Oh, this is a map showing over 8,000 orbs seen over the US. Oh, wow. Okay. Pretty interesting stuff. However, some cases have remained unsolved, reportedly due to a lack of data. Of the 757 UFO cases between May 2023 and June 2024 released in AARO's annual report, 21 cases were classified as unresolved sightings. 1 is enough. 21? Child. Although the Pentagon and civilian groups like the National UFO Reporting Center, NUFORC, have also been cataloging these incidents, many have continued to baffle military officials who have no way of explaining what was seen. And I will say this, AARO is doing their job, and they're like, no, these are explainable. Are you going to tell me that someone that's assigned to this office that's sitting on a chair looking at these pictures is going to identify it, but a military person who's trained to fly, who goes out and fights wars and does this crap every day, isn't going to know what's in our skies? They're going to be baffled by a balloon. But the AARO looking at the picture in their office, they're going to, yeah. Okay. While the new report focused on the thousands of sightings in the US over the last 3 years, strange orbs have been documented all over the world, from Puerto Rico to the Middle East. Moreover, these tiny craft have apparently been visiting our skies for decades, with pilots during World War II reporting similar orbs over the skies of Europe. It's interesting that they're getting into, I don't know, when we start talking about the ones we see during wars and nuclear tests and nuclear explosions and like the Foo Fighters. I don't know if they would all be considered orbs, but I do agree that we're seeing them everywhere and we've been seeing them forever. Enigma revealed that more than 360 metallic orb reports took place within a few miles of military bases here on US soil. In 3 of those cases, witnesses revealed that the orbs got within 5 miles of Fort Hamilton in New York, Papago Military Reserve in Arizona, and Los Angeles Air Force Base on multiple occasions. These mystery orb sightings include one shocking encounter revealed by Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the former director of AARO, which was captured on a MQ-9 Reaper drone camera in the Middle East in 2022. And guys, we've seen the Kirkpatrick video. It's going to showcase it here.
You'll see it come through the top of the screen. There it goes. And then the camera will slew to follow it. You'll see it pop in and out of the field of view there. This is essentially all of the data we have associated with this event from some years ago.
And that's a famous Kirkpatrick video that we've all seen, the sphere in the Middle East. We don't know what it is, but guys, that thing was moving pretty darn fast, in my opinion. Kirkpatrick warned that if these videos didn't prove that aliens exist, then they're evidence that a rival foreign power could be doing stuff in our backyard, whatever that stuff could mean. Some theories have suggested that these orbs could be surveillance devices from foreign powers like China or Russia. I do keep saying surveillance, but I feel like my surveillance is usually more extraterrestrial. So, okay, China, Russia, I get it, okay. Government officials believe they might be advanced drones due to their tremendous agility and ability to avoid radar, according to a 2022 report in the New York Times. This theory exploded into rampant paranoia last year when countless drones were spotted flying over the East Coast, including over key military sites and President Trump's property in New Jersey. And that's, of course, the famous or infamous New Jersey UFO drone UAP event. And I do say infamous because it is famous for all the wrong reasons. We should have been doing more research and looking more into whatever the hell was going on in our skies, because that was crazy. As for Enigma's report, many of the orb sightings have been concentrated in Texas and Florida. It's also very interesting. In fact, visitors at Disney World's Epcot Center in Florida got an unexpected sight this month when a glowing orb appeared over the amusement park. How interesting is that? Did we get a clip? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's the orb. Are we sure that wasn't a meteor? No, glowing. Okay, okay. Whoa. I don't not see that one. Look at it. Oh, no, look at it moving. I don't even think they knew that they caught. Oh, no, they did. They said what's above our skies. Okay, okay, TikTok. Calm down. We'll just zoom in here. Oh, that's intriguing. And, you know, maybe I ignored the Disney stuff because they have drones and fireworks and everything else. But, oh, but no, that's weird. That's interesting. After searching online and finding no information about drones or satellites in the area, Morgan Hulsman, digital director of the Bobby Bones show, described the objects as a UFO, adding, definitely a UFO with aliens. The Enigma platform has also received sightings from all over the US, over critical infrastructure such as power plants, and over naval vessels at sea. Now, we do know about the power plants and how they seem to love our nuclear weapons and technology. Look at this sphere zigzag through the air and lands in Buga, Colombia. Oh, we know. They highlight the Buga Sphere, which I do think it's interesting because I am drawing the similarities as well, and I can see it. And although we can be skeptical of the Buga Sphere, we can also start pointing out these coincidences and start questioning stuff. However, the most convincing proof of this invasion of mysterious orbs has been found in Colombia, where locals actually recovered a metallic sphere that was seen hovering over the town of Buga in March. The Buga Sphere has become a major topic of discussion among the UFO researchers, with scientists claiming the object contains a maze of fiber optic wires that suggests it can send and receive signals. However, I also do see like a maze of fiber optic wires as something more man-made, but okay. After striking a power line and crashing to the ground, the object also appeared to have somehow dehydrated the field it landed in. Very interesting, killing all the grass and soil where it touched down. I don't remember seeing or reading about that when we were covering the Buga Sphere at all. I don't think anyone mentioned that. Do you guys? Let me know in the comments if you guys remember that. Scientists suggested this was proof that the object produced some kind of energy field, but researchers had not attempted to forcibly cut the object open so far. The sphere has since been taken to Mexico for further analysis. Now, and that's another, because people are like, oh, Jaime Maussan. Remember, Jaime wasn't there originally. That's something I want you to keep in mind. The other thing, and someone mentioned this before in the comments, is how this thing landed and they went and touched it like nothing. I think that's crazy. And now seeing that it killed all the grass and the soil where they were, and they went and picked it up, bold and could not be me. However, UFO researcher Dr. Juliet Mossbridge from the University of San Diego is among the many who doubt the authenticity of the Buga Sphere, calling it a man-made art project. Now again, Buga Sphere aside, I do think it's important to note that we have been seeing these sphere-like anomalies, not just orbs of light, metallic spheres in the sky. So much so that we've been seeing them for years, and we've come up with the theory of surveillance here on this channel, not by China or Russia like the government has, but we have our own theories. But they are a thing. So even if the Buga Sphere is a hoax, let's say it is, it does not deny or invalidate what we're seeing here over military bases and what we've been seeing for literal decades. Something is happening in our skies. If it's an adversary, we need to know immediately because we're in danger. If it's extraterrestrial, we should just know. That's crazy. We should know what's going on, especially if 3I Atlas is going to be something more than just a comet. Don't you think? Another strange sphere UFO was captured in Mexico. And when I say captured, I don't mean on camera. I mean, we actually have it in our hands and we're analyzing it. Very strange, and it's very akin to the Buga Sphere, which you guys know I'm a little bit skeptical on. But it is important to still check out these videos because we have no definitive answers, and there's really reputable people on both sides of the aisles on this issue. So it's great to take all the evidence in and decide for ourselves. Also, remember I have that weird theory about the UFO spheres doing surveillance on us? Yeah, that's because there are for sure real UFO spheres, like this clip here we've seen before.
This is probably my favorite UFO sighting from last year. This thing is bananas. Not only was it captured on camera, but it's this sphere-like object. Look how it just dropped. Did you see that quick descent? And it starts circling around this area, and what it looks like is it's taking pictures of us. Like, I saw this and I was shook. Look at it zooming and zipping around. That drop was probably the weirdest part to me. Some people are actually saying that it might be a drone. Y'all, we're gonna zoom in on it. Look at that. Look, what was that flash? Bitch, did you just take a picture of me? Now look, we're going to slow down and zoom in. I don't know that this is a drone. I don't think I've ever seen a drone that looks like this spherical metallic orb, whatever the hell this is. And that flash is crazy. And look at the glint underneath it after the flash too is very strange. Y'all, oh my god, I love this sighting. It's so, and honestly, it could be a drone. I've never seen a drone like this. Let me know in your comments what you think. I think this thing is weird. And then it just kind of like flies off screen. But look at this mother tucker circling. And who are you taking a picture of? You do not have my consent. UFO/UAP. What was that? What was that ring light? What the hell? I love it. I love this UFO sighting. I think it's so It's kind of creepy, but I think it's super cool.
How it looks like it's looping around and snapping pictures. So there is something going on with UFO spheres of the skies. And since we have no definitive answers on things like the Buga Sphere, they may actually be real. Now, the source of this clip is alien carvings. The thickness is 1/60th of an inch thick, and yet the shell is stronger than normal and cannot be dented. The carvings make no sense to us, and we still don't know how these things fly. Great analysis and composition made by the presenter. This is from Kobe for 3 on Twitter. More studies are being done, and you have to wonder, why are they allowed to capture the orbs now? What has changed? Are they sharing the technology with us? All right. Now, again, I'm a little iffy specifically on the Buga Sphere, and maybe on this one because personally I think the carvings are a little crude, but there are spheres flying around, and this may just be one of them. So watch this till the end so you get all the information, and let me know in the comments below what you think about this.
I had to understand what was going on with all these Buga chip items coming out of Mexico. As you've heard in some of my previous videos, possibly, it's quite the mystery. The science shows that these items are absolutely antiquities. They're absolutely something special that was manufactured in a way in which we aren't doing commercially today. I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but it's absolutely not consistent with what we see. This sphere actually turns out to be no different. I didn't see any wear or corrosion on it, and it looked different than the other ones we got, so I picked it first. We took it and had XRF analysis done, and it has manganese, it has chromium heavily, but a majority iron, which is kind of like a stainless steel. But most stainless steel has nickel in it. This doesn't have any at all. And it's actually missing certain things that make it kind of suspicious in terms of, you know, how it was done or for what purpose. And, you know, structural soundness and erosion resistance would be the two big things of this alloy versus just your standard stainless steel. The other thing is its weight. You know, for it to only weigh 12.6 ounces, yet it's got a 26-inch circumference. I don't understand how on earth this thing only weighs 12.5 ounces or whatnot. I mean, the wall thickness, by doing the math, would have to be 1/60th of an inch based on the metal's composition. That would be over 3 pounds. So 12 ounces, this is a huge discrepancy here in terms of this material. And that would be given that this thing was a 60th of an inch thick, which we know not to be true because I just showed you how strong it is. I pushed my thumb into it as hard as I could, and it didn't dent the ball. I just don't have an explanation on that. There's going to be more studies done, and we'll find out more information, hopefully. We're going to CT scan these things and get in deep to find out, you know, exactly how they were made, if they were a lost wax casting, where they fill up the inside with wax, and then that's how they were able to carve on it because it's got a structural thing inside of it. But regardless, to turn this on a lathe and create this and dig as deep as it is with the carvings also doesn't really make sense with the 1/60th of an inch. There's no way you could get that deep without deforming it and or punching through. So there's something bizarre about the metal structure and the weight, and this is just the start. So I will keep an open mind with it and go from there.
Now, whether you're skeptical on that or not, remember that it is important to always have your phone at the ready or your camera because the next UFO sighting may happen near you. Those were freaking awesome. The perfect spheres with no means of propulsion, possibly the camera system with like the flashing, which it could be anything, I know, but I just see that and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Guys, I want to hear your thoughts on these in the comments below. Smash like and I'll see you in the next video.